She belongs to the class of 1944, Salem High School, and they have recently celebrated their 78th high school reunion, and will plan their 79th high school reunion. So I thought, maybe that's a record. So we applied to the Guinness Book of World Records, and after several months and going back and forth, they announced that this class is now the official world record holder of longest running high school reunions. Yay! And I think the 7 people that went to the last reunion still know the fight song. They might sing it at the 79th. And the only funny thing about this is that the last thing they needed was official photo identification of each of the people that went to the last reunion, the 7. So it was my job to call these people or email them and say, oh, I would like to come by and get snap a picture of your driver's license. Does that not sound like fraud or a scam? So I thought, I'm not. So I said, Mom, could you call your friends and let them know I'm going to be contacting them? And so we got it all done. That was the last thing that sealed the deal, was proof that these people existed. And they could correspond them back to the high school commencement program with their names. And, the paper today, if anybody gets the Statesman Journal, it's in the paper. So, yeah, so if any of you don't want to keep your paper, we'll take this section of the paper from you so that you don't have to lie in a bird cage or do a recycling. So save that. Anyway, I'm done. Thank you. And congratulations. We're on the map.
Thank you, Janet. Well, as most of us know too, Gail Preem, the honored person there, Shannon is her daughter, of course. Mighty fine to have daughters. I have 3 of them. I can recommend them highly. Okay, so we have a couple announcements here. Next week, it says on your program that Reverend Don Kerr is going to speak, but we're actually going to have Reverend Julie. She has a special thing in mind. She's going to speak part of a program, of her subject and topic, and then cover the rest of it in another ministerial message of the morning the next Sunday. So that's going to be kind of interesting. So it's Reverend Julie next Sunday. And join us for hospitality downstairs. And you know, speaking of hospitality, that's after the service, of course. I want to say something about a couple of things on that. You know, we talk about the idea of sharing our time and our talent and our treasure, those 3 trinity that I call it the trinity of efforts and activities to keep a house of spiritual service going, keep it in action, keep it well. And we're maintained by prayer here. We call that the first maintenance, and the actions of all people who come here and anyone who will offer their volunteer service as well as their talents and their contribution in which they want to share financially. But that sharing of our time and our talent, that's something special. That can be expressed through, as an example, our hospitality time, which is so many of us go downstairs. We just love to go down and have a cup of coffee, sit around and talk and have fun and all that, right? It's where the kitchen's located if you haven't been there, but I think all of us have. Right now, we need volunteers to help out coming up on April 30th, next Sunday. Did you have something to say about that? I will volunteer. Oh, did you hear that? Bingo! Shannon's always volunteering. She's always volunteering. I can call on her to help out with a Sunday morning service sometimes. She'll come up here and do things with us. But if anyone else feels anything in their hearts to talk about that, you know, there's Cheryl. You're right here. I'm right here. Cheryl Ostrander is going to pray us in this morning, but she's the one to talk to let you know just how much fun it can be. So if you have it in your heart you want to talk about that, talk to her, and she'll kind of set some things up with you. Sound good, Cheryl? She's shaking her head yes. I can see her. Okay. Okay, so let's move right along. Is there any other announcements here? Soup for the Soul fundraiser. Isn't that fun, that Soup for the Soul Sundays that we have? The next one's coming up on May the 21st. And this event is chaired by Sandy Megan. She's not here today. I didn't see her. And Satya River Song right there.
We need soup signers up for next month, not too early to be thinking about
Okay.
the recipe.
Yeah, that's a good, okay. Talk to her about that, right?
Talk to the sign-up sheet.
Oh, the sign-up sheet first. Well, you can talk to her about the details. She can tell you, get over there and sign up if you have to, if she forgets. Okay. And then watch out for these calendar of events. We have some things coming up on new classes and workshops and more. I think that's, anyone else have any more announcements? We'll just let that be for the announcements. And I think we ought to sing a song, don't you? Oh, wait a minute. Let's do a couple other things. Well, no. Let's sing a song. No. Let's do a couple other things. No. Let's sing a song.
Okay.
And then we'll pray. I can't find out where the program is here. Here it is.
This may be a new song for you. And if you ever heard John Denver and the Muppets at some Christmas thing decades ago, it's a wonderful CD to listen to, or a music stream or whatever. But we'll sing it 3 times through. So you'll get a sense of it and then sing along. And if you're so inclined, throw in a harmony. It's a lovely song. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us by and by. Lovely. All right, ready? It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us by and by. Sing very quietly and then we'll goose it up at the end. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us by and by.
Good morning. I invite you to go into that space within, that space that knows the power and the perfection of the one Spirit, allowing any busyness, anything that has occurred before you came, just allow that to fall away. And I invite you to welcome that Spirit into your heart, where it always resides. Just opening to it, knowing it is there, celebrating it, the power and perfection, and knowing that as I am one with that power and perfection, you, each of you, is one with that. And not just us, not just those who've chosen to come to this center this morning, but those who visit us from the magic of the internet, those who have chosen other paths, churches, temples, ashrams, temples, all are perfect, all are paths to God. So knowing this wonderful, wonderful truth, I also know that this service is unfolding perfectly, as it is intended to. And the music inspires us and lifts us. The words touch each of us in their own special way, each receiving the message that is so important to that individual. I come here with gratitude. I come here with faith. I come here grateful to be a part of this fellowship and grateful for this unfolding as it is meant to be. So with gratitude in my heart, I simply release these words into the law, into Spirit's power, knowing there is done as spoken, and through grace so much more. And if you would affirm with me, and so it is. And we have an affirmation. Join me in saying, as I bring myself to this present moment, I know I have clarity and courage to speak my authentic truth. My way is made clear. I know I am loved and accepted just as I am, and so it is.
Okay, we have a reader coming up right now, heading for the microphone. Susie.
Good morning. Embrace the ebb and flow. There is a right time for everything, like the ebb and flow of tides. No one can do anything to change them. When it is time to wait, you must wait. Haruki Murakami. Hold steadfastly to the thought that all of life is in a state of eternal flow. Ernest Holmes, Science of Mind, page 233. Balance and harmony are buzzwords used to describe how to live a meaningful life. Balance implies equal and opposing forces that must be perfectly arranged to avoid tipping in either direction. The danger in a balanced life is that it requires constant judgment, comparison, and juggling. Harmony means forming a pleasing and consistent whole. Wow, this is so much easier than balance, right? How often does your life form a pleasing and consistent whole where all the parts work together? Balance or harmony as life goals can lead to shame, self-judgment, and despair by advocating for something unattainable, perfection. Instead, I prefer ebb and flow. Ebb and flow is a recurrent or rhythmic pattern of coming or going, decline or regrowth. Think of tidal action or the behavior of plants. Our lives ebb and flow. Sometimes everything seems to work. We feel curious, happy, and at other times we feel stagnant, dormant, melancholy. Life seems hard. If you look back over your life, you will see this pattern. In spring, I see a yellow cloud of forsythia blossoms outside my window. Here in Oregon, it's daffodils. In summer, lush green. In fall, a riot of reds, oranges, and yellows. In winter, bare branches against a gray sky. So too our lives blossom, grow lush, and become bare. There is no magic answer to life. It ebbs and flows. Appreciate where you are, ebb or flow, without judgment. We don't judge a forsythia bush for not blooming all year, or a tree for being bare in winter. The affirmation accompanying this: today, I embrace the ebbs and flows of life. I know where I am right now is the perfect place for me.
Thank you, Susie. We have some talent here at this chapel, do we not? My goodness. And now, special music.
The music has started, I stand by the wall. I want to step out, but I don't want to fall. Maybe I'll wait for another dance to begin. Others are dancing, they seem so alive. I don't want a life where I live to survive. I want to be part of the dance. Well, why can't I move? Oh, where will I get the courage? How can I let go of fear? How can I follow the love that put me here? Oh, where will I get the courage? How can I answer the call? Where will I find the strength to dance at all? Jesus, sweet Jesus, oh, you came to teach. You talked about things that are so hard to reach. Sometimes I freeze when I'm hearing you say, follow me. Can I follow the dance that is righteous and true? Can I let go of fear? Can I listen to you? Can I grow in compassion? Can I love without pulling away? Oh, where will I get the courage? How can I let go of fear? How can I follow the dance that put me here? Oh, where will I get the courage? How can I answer the call? Where will I find the strength to dance at all? I know what is right and I know what is wrong. It's so easy to sing out the words in a song. It's a little bit different when I know that I'm needing to change. Can I follow the dance that will take me away from a comfortable life and my comfortable ways? Can I share what I have with another who never will dance? Oh, where will I get the courage? How can I let go of fear? How can I follow this God that put me here? Oh, where will I get the courage? How can I answer the call? Where will I find the strength to dance at all? The music begins. The music begins and I step from the wall.
Did you write that song?
I did. But I never write all by myself. It's like, okay, Spirit, let's get going.
You got it. You got it. And you know, a person who teaches that here very well is our next speaker, our senior minister, Reverend Maur Horton. Always goes to Spirit. He tells me, I go to Spirit with all of my talks I'm going to talk about. I just sit down and Spirit moves. Reverend Maur Horton, come forth and give us some spiritual.
All right. What you got? Okay. Okay. Let's get everything arranged here where we can find it easily. Good morning. It's wonderful to see every one of you here this morning and to be part of this wonderful community. I just feel a joy in my heart to be able to speak and to be able to receive the love that comes from being here. The topic this morning is the power of vulnerability, seeing and being seen. It's kind of an interesting one, almost a paradox, isn't it? We preach our perfection, yet we know that we are vulnerable. But before we get down into that, I've got a couple things I'd like to do this morning. One is to acknowledge that we depend on a village to bring you our Sunday celebrations. Everyone does their part. This morning when I came in, I didn't see Reverend Don, and I went, oh, and no programs? Oh. But the programs are out, and Reverend Don is here. He always does such a job of helping us feel welcome every time. And we have a new musician, Willie. Thank you, Willie. It was beautiful. We enjoyed you very much. Our practitioner, Cheryl Guest, delivered a fine meditation this morning. She walked us into a garden where there was a pond of perfect love. Wow. Our practitioner, Cheryl Ostrander, prayed us in with grace and energy. And our reader, Susie Onstadt, this morning, so clear, so full of energy. Wonderful. Thank you. And we must not forget our sound and video staff, Aaron Cermak and Jim Nye. Our hospitality hosts this morning, I believe, are Satya and Mary Riversong. Let's give them all a sign of appreciation. You know, I left out one group. You. You are our volunteers. I would like, if you can, if you're willing to do this, let me read this and I'll ask you to do it. I'd like for you to stand up and fist bump, handshake, or hug one or more people who are next to you. Share a brief greeting. Maybe say, I'm glad you're here with me this morning, or simply blessings. Please stand up. There's a reason for this.
Welcome. That was really great.
Thank you. Forgive the finger pics.
No worries. There.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Please come back.
Oh, I hope I can.
1989. 27 is when I heard that song. It's in every one of us.
Well, this is just a taste of what it's like to be in our hospitality afterwards, where everybody has a chance to visit and talk and kind of carry on this wonderful spirit of togetherness that we have. Before getting into the substance, oh, please be seated, yeah. Before getting into the substance of our message this morning, let's take just a moment to honor Earth Day. Does everybody know Earth Day was yesterday? Yeah. Now, if there's one entity on this planet that we know is vulnerable, it is definitely our planet Earth, is it not? You know that? Yeah. Our Earth is constantly vulnerable, certainly vulnerable to humanity's actions. However, since it was first organized in 1950, Earth Day helped raise the consciousness of needed environmental protections. And the theme of 2023 is Invest in Our Planet. This is to encourage corporations and businesses of all kinds to help take care of Mother Earth. Now, you might think this is such a large problem. What could I possibly do? There are three things you can do. You can reduce, you can reuse, and you can recycle. If you do that, you're going to be contributing to the health of the planet. These actions will help us be taken individually and as a community. So that's just a word about Earth Day. It's part of our awareness of the vulnerability of life itself. Our journey this morning is going to be a three-part journey. The first part of the journey is seeing ourselves. The second part of the journey is seeing others. And the third part of the journey is seeing what's in between, what's in the spaces. And we're going to lead into the subject of community. So we have these three segments. Let's talk about seeing ourselves. Well, let's maybe define vulnerability. It's probably a good idea. So we have kind of know what we're talking about here. According to Merriam-Webster, vulnerability means capable of being physically or emotionally wounded. So I'm going to share a story. Oh, I also will plan to share 3 stories this morning. And maybe a joke if it fits in. In this story, I'm going from seeing myself as broken to being open to greater good. Now, as it says, physical or emotional. This story is about being physically wounded. I think it points to a key dimension of a deeper meaning of vulnerability. And now you might say, well, why did you choose this story this morning? Well, I visited with my cardiologist on Friday. He gave me some news. Actually, kind of good news. First, a little backstory. How many of you are familiar with my cardiac story? Michelle, and a couple, 3, 4. Okay, so there's some who are not. So I'll give a little backstory. In 2016, I was diagnosed with what's called congestive heart failure. My heart was too big, and it wasn't pumping enough blood, basically. I was at an ejection fraction of 30, and 60 is the norm. So I was pretty wobbly, so to speak. Now, the normal type of treatment for this is simply to go in and open you up, fix the heart, and close you up again. Ooh, yeah, but my heart wasn't strong enough for that, according to my doctor, Dr. Krishnamurthy. So he said, there's a clinical trial up at the Health Sciences University, and he referred me there to participate in a study of robotic mitral valve surgery. Ooh, it was brand new at the time. So it was experimental, but now it's a standard procedure, usually preferable to open heart surgery. I guess you could say that I can be proud, perhaps, of being part of the approval of this new approach to helping people with heart problems. Now, needless to say, the surgery was successful. I've been here all the years since, and my heart function increased by about a third within a month of the operation. That was very good. Well, some shocking news. The recent echocardiogram and Friday's EKG revealed that my blood flow increased by 100%. Yeah. It was from the 30s to 60, and 60 is normal. That's just really, talk about a visit that brightens your day, right? You're like, oh, okay, I don't have that thing and a problem with my heart anymore. Dr. Krishnamurthy said, it may have taken 7.5 years, but we got there. Truly, truly, truly. Well, on the emotional side of this story, my wife and I had scheduled a trip to the Black Sea and the Mediterranean. We weren't able to take it because the doctor said, if you get out there and you're not close to a hospital and you have a problem, you're going to be toast. Well, he implied toast, I think. But anyway, so we didn't go. But we lost a little money on it. But you know what? Having a wonderful, perfect heart is well worth it. A spiritual perspective on this story is that while vulnerability is defined as capable of being wounded, vulnerability is also an opening. It's an opening for healing. It's an opening for wholeness. And I believe this applies both physically and emotionally. Now, Reverend Don did a wonderful job last week of laying the groundwork for seeing how vulnerability implies wholeness. Being vulnerable means seeing yourself whole, both what you might call the darker side and the lighter side. You might call the messy side and the cleaned up side. You might call the happy side and the less happy side. You see the wholeness of your being. So seeing ourselves whole rests on a fundamental spiritual principle, the one that underlies all of our teaching. You know what it is, do you? Oneness. Oneness. We are each an individualized manifestation of the one love, manifesting as one life through the creative medium of the one law. One love, one life, one law. If you feel you would like to catch up a bit on this, and maybe could use a review, go to our website, www.woodlandchapelsalem.com, and listen to Reverend Don, Reverend Julie, and myself explain our teaching symbol. You remember that talk? Yeah, I was on Easter. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Now, when Dr. Holmes, our founder, was first asked to write something down, they were preaching and teaching, but they said, Ernest, what do we believe? And the very first thing he wrote down, and you'll find it in the Science of Mind magazine every month, is this, and I quote, "We believe in God, the living Spirit Almighty, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. This one manifests itself in and through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. The manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God." Science of Mind. Science of Mind teaches the universal principle of oneness. Now, oneness doesn't mean sameness. We are each individualized expressions of this one. And as part of this manifest world, we are each our own unique configuration of the divine expressing in this moment. When we're really able to grasp this, not just as a concept, but as a reality in our hearts, we can recognize the truth in ourselves and in others. So we see ourselves as whole, and we recognize that when vulnerability occurs, it's a way of nurturing belonging, connection, and community. We'll talk about that. Now, let's talk a little bit about seeing others. I see lots of others this morning. It's such a joy to see you. Now, we can accept others pretty easily when they're being kind to us, right? It's not hard at all. That's good. But when something difficult comes up, when they're asking or demanding something that's not quite so pleasurable or for us, then that can be a problem, right? Now, I have a story at this point. And I owe this story to something that seemingly happened by chance. I was driving down the roadway, the highway, as I remember, and I was in silence. I was enjoying it, and I said, I better turn on my favorite radio station, OPB. And I did. And guess who I heard? Shankavedanta. Does anybody know Shankavedanta? Yeah, the hidden brain. Okay. Here's a story that he shared at that moment. And I thought, this is divine answer to what I want to talk about. Susan Prescott described her unsung hero. He was her 12th grade English teacher, Fred DeMeo. She says, and I'm quoting, "One day, Mr. DeMeo assigned everyone a poem to recite in front of the class, and I was terrified. I had a mild stutter. I'd be trying to get a word out that might begin with a D or a hard D or a TH, and the word wouldn't come out. I might even say it 3 times. And I thought, there's no way I'm getting up there in front of my peers and speaking. So I went home, and I told my mother how I felt, and she wrote a note asking me to be excused from doing the assignment in front of the whole class. On the day of the public speaking assignment, instead of giving it in front of my peers, I gave it one-on-one to him after the school day. And as I sat down, after I recited my poem, I didn't remember if I stuttered, but he looked at me when I was all done, and he said, "What's wrong with that?" And I just sat there and said, he said, additionally, "I liked listening to your voice." I had never heard that before. I think in his mind, it was so minor, and he wanted me to understand. I have nothing to be afraid of. Nothing to be afraid of. And I didn't realize how empowering that would be for me. But I never thanked him. You know, I graduated and I just moved forward like an 18-year-old person will do. You know, I was getting into college and then I graduated from college. And you know what? The second job I had was being a corporate trainer. So I stand up in front of people and I speak, and I do it all the time. And if I do stutter once in a while, big whoop. Vulnerability. Susan was confronted by an emotional fear many may share. The fear of speaking in public, the fear of being seen and heard by their peers. By enlisting the support of her family and due to the gentleness of her teacher, she was able to complete her assignment. And she said, I'd like Mr. DeMeo to know that he truly is an unsung hero because he played a big role in my very successful career and my life. And that was life-changing. I don't know where I would have gone if I felt like I had to keep my voice quiet because I was afraid of embarrassing myself. I'd like to give him my thanks for his kindness. Well, since the interview, she has found a way to do that. She's writing him a letter saying thank you. So when we see others, and we see through to the talent and the goodness and the love and the joy that exists in them, even though they may be presenting with some sort of a vulnerability, our response is precious. Our response is key. As we encourage them, as we help them draw out that goodness and find that power within themselves, that's a wonderful experience in life. Mr. DeMeo saw her vulnerability and responded to it with kindness. And that helped free her from fear. Let's take a moment. I ran across a little joke I hope you find as entertaining as I did. Let's take a moment to hear this story. It's about an airplane and 4 parachutes. Have you heard it? An airplane and 4 stories? Not too, oh good, then probably you won't say the punchline before I get there. All right, okay. An old man, a schoolboy, a lawyer, a doctor, and a community service worker are all on the plane in only 4 parachutes when the pilot of the plane was hit with a stroke and passes away. As the plane plummets its passengers to death, the 5 members of the aircraft argue over who deserved to have the 4 bags containing the parachutes. Social worker. I deserve to live because I protect vulnerable children and support families in need of assistance. The social worker grabs the nearest bag and plummets out of the aircraft. Lawyer. I deserve to live because I advocate for my clients through my sharp wit and massive knowledge. The lawyer grabs the second bag and plummets out of the aircraft. Doctor. I deserve to live because I help diagnose ill people with my specialized training. The doctor grabs the third bag and plummets out of the aircraft. Well, if you've been keeping track, only the schoolboy and the old man in the plane, with it descending toward the ground. The old man says, go ahead, boy, take the last parachute. You have many years ahead of you, while I am just an old man who is soon to die anyway. Schoolboy, that's okay, old man. We can both take a parachute. Look, there are still 2 left. The old man's eyes widen with surprise. The old man, how is this possible? Schoolboy, well, the lawyer with the sharp wit and massive knowledge took my school backpack. There is room between seeing ourselves and seeing others for community or for taking action. You see, vulnerability changes the space between us. In fact, it can draw us closer together. It can draw us closer to understanding. This vulnerability and how we handle it transcends distance by allowing others to see a whole person. When we allow ourselves to be seen, we invite others to be seen. Brene Brown writes in The Gifts of Imperfection, we cultivate love when we allow our most vulnerable and powerful selves to be deeply seen and known, and when we honor the spiritual connection that grows from that offering with trust, respect, kindness, and affection. Exactly what Mr. DeMeo did. So when we show trust, respect, kindness, and affection, sometimes confidentiality is involved too, when it's appropriate. We build a deep sense of connection, and that is community, connection. I recently was with several people, wonderful folks, and we were talking about what attracted them to get involved in Woodland Chapel Center for Spiritual Living. There were several common threads, but one of them was that each one had found someone here they trusted enough to share a vulnerable part of their personal story. I'm not talking about dumping like they do on TV and all this stuff, you know. That's not. It's sharing. It's sharing from in a trusted environment. It's sharing with certain boundaries and all that. But it's sharing something vulnerable. Some of them shared with a minister, some with a practitioner, and some with a person sitting next to them in the pew. Yeah, the depth and the simplicity of our sharing together brought tears to my eyes and to the eyes of others who shared and heard. In short, what has attracted these folks to our community is the community itself. The community welcomed them, did not judge them. The community listened. It was a community that still has and has faith in them and has love for them. And they experienced what it means to be involved in Woodland Chapel Center for Spiritual Living. Brene Brown, in her book Rising Strong, identifies the emotional side of vulnerability. I believe that vulnerability, the willingness to show up and be seen with no guarantee of outcome, is the only path to more love, belonging, and joy. Well, certainly vulnerability opens one's path to love, belonging, and joy in our great spiritual experience, as do all our spiritual practices and our classes that lead us to wholeness and self-confidence and the sure knowledge of our oneness in the one. I hope that our stories this morning have helped you see the spiritual meaning of vulnerability. Vulnerability implies being open to our whole selves and to others. And when held in the chalice of faith and love, vulnerability leads to a beautiful, dynamic, loving community. And that is what we are here at Woodland Chapel Center for Spiritual Living. That's our message for this morning. Namaste. Willie, we are one.
We are one in the Spirit. We are one in our bones. We are one on this planet. We are never alone. We are never alone. One child singing to the moon in the sky. Two people gazing at the stars floating by. Three people breathing in the dawn. For everyone we will all carry on, and we are one in the Spirit. We are one in our bones. We are one on this planet. We are never alone. We are never alone. 5 men talking round a fire burning bright. 6 women walking as they carry the light. 7 children laughing in a tree. 8 mountains listening to one harmony. I'm going to sing that chorus again, and I invite you to be the echo after each line. I think that will be just lovely. We are one in the Spirit, we are one in the Spirit, we are one in our bones, we are one in our bones, we are one on this planet, we are one on this planet, we are never alone, we are never alone, all together we are never alone, we are never alone, again, we are never alone.
Thank you, Willie. That was beautiful. We enjoy so much the freshness of the songs that you bring us, as they are your own composition. Yes. Wonderful.
Thank you, Willie.
Yes, yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We clap for one another. We clap for the goodness. We clap for the energy that's in our hearts and our minds. That's what brings us here. That's what helps us to realize that we are one in this community. We are one in love. So let's take this moment to take whatever form of money we'd like to share with the church and either put it in our hands or in our minds and know that we are truly supporting that gift of seeing through what is appearing to the love and the joy and the energy that is the truth of each one of us. So let's read together our offering affirmation. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. And so it is.
Will the ushers come forward, please? The gatherers of the sheep. Come forward. Gosh, we have 4 down there. Should we use all 4, Reverend?
Sure, if you want to. I kind of chewed up my check. Willie, are you? Oh, thank you.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
In the ebb and flow of this universe, in the giving and the taking, in the sharing and in the receiving, we are blessed in so many ways. The entire universe supports us in our gift this morning as we give from our hearts, from the work of our hands, and the intentions of our minds. So, together, let us say, and so it is. Okay, let us stand if we'd like to and recite our prayer of protection. I think we're at that point. The light of God surrounds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Let's sing together our peace song. You want to join in the circle?
Let there be peace on earth. Let it begin with me. Peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. When God has created us, and we all agree.
guess it's unanimous.
Just so you know, this is